because you know that it takes a while to start his system.
Yeah.
But Club Talk episode 12, we are here, joined by obviously the man, the myth, the legend, Creed Recon. You know, as always, sexy as fuck. And then we're joined by some piece of trash sitting next to me. Who are you?
There's some trash next to you?
Right on my left. Oh, it's standing up. It's walking trash.
It's over here by this bush.
It's walking trash.
Is it over there? Is it over there? I don't see it. Where the trash at? Motherfucker.
But as usual, the hosts of Club Talk are back again for another shitty hour of talking about nothing. Today we're joined by who are you, Mr. I don't even know what to call you. High, yeah, whatever.
Every day is high time.
Right time. So who are you, man?
I'm the Chupacabras president of the South Blaine County chapter.
South Green County. So you use like a what is that? Is that like a real life bottom rocker?
No, it's what we did was we took you know, a lot of clubs are breaking up the city, north, south, east, west. I haven't seen it done in Blaine County, so I figured why not and do something original with the patch. So we cleaned the south part of Blaine County, which is like Grand Sonora, Sandy Shores, Harmony, anything below the Alamo shit.
You was asking about his club name, right?
No.
I thought you was asking about his
club name. I didn't ask about his club name. It wouldn't make any sense.
I thought you was asking what
real life bottom rocker, did they? The fuck does that mean?
That's what I thought you said. I wasn't listening to you. Sometimes you say dumb things and I just zone out.
Hey man, everyone knows who the real star is here. Calm down.
Okay, yeah, because he didn't even know who you were.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not the Instagram fucking diva.
Instagram diva, I like that. I'm claiming that.
Don't call yourself a diva. That's fucking gay.
What the fuck? So it's 2018.
The faggot should be killed. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! We're gonna.
Somebody commented, somebody commented that. You can see comments now. Somebody said that.
It's okay. My brother's a homosexual in real life, so you know I'm not homophobic.
You sound like that one white guy.
We've had this conversation before.
No, we're not gonna get into that debate. Whatever. You stupid. That's all I got to say. You're retarded.
Anyway, we're here to just chill out again for another fucking hour. You know, and fucking talk about some issues, because basically, right now, this episode's going to be 1% talk, mostly a big chunk of it. It's going to be 1%. And then we're probably going to drop the topic for a while, because we want to look into talking about some other shit. We covered 1% on the past 12 episodes. We talked a little bit about it, at least. So we're just going to have one big blowout, get feelings out there, get some emotions out there, you know, and then all good. If you're commenting right now, we can't see anyone's comments, so
can't see shit on either channel.
Yeah. Right. So we have two different opinions, you know. Me and Day might have some difference of opinion. We talked about this a little bit, but I have a feeling. So let's get this out there. What are your views on 1% so far? Like, you know, what's going on with that? Where's your head at?
My views on 1%, and it's always been the same since the 2014 meeting, is ARs and pistols only.
Right.
Pump shotguns and submachine guns are fine from the bike. On ground, the pump shotgun is like an iffy subject. It's really based upon your club. That's a club choice. But submachine guns are basically not allowed. That's really, you know, it's the original code. A lot of cats are trying to change it.
You say original code. What does that mean?
You know what we found it on at the meeting.
What there was? Wait, no, but not every club in the entire community was there on that meeting.
Oh, you know, you're absolutely right. Some clubs weren't even founded before this meeting.
I mean, I'm sure there were clubs around before that meeting which claimed 1%. There were, most definitely.
Yeah, from GTA 4, it was eye for an eye. Basically, like, if you blow me up or you pull a tank out, that's fine for me to pull a tank out. A lot of clubs did not agree to that.
So I mean, so technically, wouldn't that be the OG code?
Yeah, I mean, it was until you know, the majority of the clubs at the time that were big enough to impact the community came together. Enemies, friendlies, like there was a whole bunch of clubs that came together. The original Mongols, um, myself, which was Comanchero at the time, a few other clubs, Warlocks. We all came together and we decided to, you know, make it more competitive.
That wasn't really their place, though, and that was not your guys' place to speak on behalf of everyone and to claim that as the new code. You guys can say we follow that. What I'm getting at here is that there are different codes and 1% codes. I feel like claiming, oh, we're the OG code doesn't have any weight to it because it doesn't make any sense. I see it as not even back then. I don't see it as the OG code, right? I don't see Eye for an Eye as OG code. I don't see that because every single club since the beginning has had a different view on 1%. Maybe people may agree, but your club and the club that you're friends with and the clubs that you know of decided to follow the same code, but that does not make it the real code. It doesn't make it the right code.
I mean, aren't you guys ARs, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, we are ARs only because that's how we like to play.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to be technical, I mean, that meeting had some type of ripple effect in the community.
Not really. I didn't even. Let me tell you this. I didn't know nothing about y'all's club. That 1% meeting. Nothing that you're talking about. I got on this game. I didn't like shooting rockets. I didn't like using grenades. So in turn, I wanted to play the game this way. And
Striker
even my
MC
way
was retaliation. Striker MC was retaliation for up to about 2 years ago. It was retaliation, and 2 years ago, we had an influx of good members like myself, and I've been in the community myself for about 4 years now. I had an influx about this community, and we came in, and we're like, okay, you can't be doing this because we like to see it like this. Now, we have differentiates in our own code. We're allowed to use pump shotguns. We're allowed to use submachine guns. We're allowed to do that kind of stuff. I still consider that 1%. A lot of people consider that. Personally, I consider retaliation 1%. Striker MC doesn't follow that code, but I consider that 1%. Because to a lot of people, and the way that a lot of people perceive this is fair play. And that's the way we kind of perceive 1%.
So your 1%, you know, you said retaliation. So are you still talking about basically like an eye for an eye kind of thing?
Yeah. But Striker MC doesn't follow that code. But if somebody did that, I would see them as still 1%. Because to me, that's fair play. I mean, we don't do that. It's against our bylaws. But other clubs do.
I'm going to explain Creed's terminology.
I can explain my own terminology.
I'm doing it anyway because you ain't letting me talk. But anyway, eye for an eye. You know, when people play eye for an eye, people try to make fun of them and be like, "Oh, y'all retaliation club." You know, so that's where that came from. But no, we still consider that 1%. However, we don't play like that. That's not how we want to play. That's not how we want to do it. We want to kick it ARs and pistols and pump shotguns and mini SMGs and stuff like that. The only time we even blow anything up is if it's an armored vehicle or it flies. That's when we blow stuff up.
But what does...
But what I was told is that the original 1%, they don't do that. Like, man, I ain't blowing shit up. I ain't got that on my weapon wheel, blah, 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 blah. Quote unquote, original 1%, true 1%.
Which that kind of gets to me a little bit because I see this on Instagram. I see it on Instagram a lot. The original 1%. I don't like that a lot. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it implies that the people who play that way were made 1%, which is not true. Nobody made 1%. Real life bikers made 1%, and it came over to GTA in different forms all across the fucking MC community.
I mean, when we wear the 1% patch, it's a different meaning from real life.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of we adopted the 1% as, you know, ARs, pistols, pump shotguns, mini SMGs. as the 1% code. You know what I mean? Compared to actual real life bikers.
But then, which
I think
absolutely I agree. It's different.
I think what everybody can agree on is we all criminals. It's GTA. So therefore, you can't be 1% by being a criminal.
100% agree. I don't like the argument
GTA,
like there's an argument that a lot of people that claim 1% usually go, oh, I'm for the real life 1%. I use whatever I want. I don't like the argument because it's stupid. It's different. Obviously, 1% in GTA is different. But what I don't like is people saying, this is 1% specifically, you cannot have this on your weapon wheel, you cannot use this pump shotgun here, because that was never put into place.
Me personally, I mean, we kind of agree to it. I mean,
but only a select few clubs agree to it. That doesn't speak on behalf. I'm sure I hear people saying we had a completely different meeting with another group of clubs. You know, there are people that have these meetings. These meetings have popped up throughout GTA community history, where a club and his friends' clubs pop up and they go, "Oh, we're gonna change 1%."
God damn, Creed, you got a lot to say.
I mean, the way I look at it is, it's kind of like a myth and a legend over the years of what the 1% is.
Yeah.
To me, at least, 1% is ARs, pistols only. I don't even have in my weapon wheel a sniper. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or an auto shotgun or anything like that. That's me personally. I don't have any of that kind of stuff. Anything that a biker would not absolutely use, I don't have in my weapon wheel.
See, but the thing is too, you gotta look at actual, MC shit that happened in real life if you comparing it that way, because bikers have used explosives, they use car bombs, they use whatever,
so 1% does really come down to
get the fucking job done.
And the way we perceive it now is 1% comes down to fair play, and that's because we don't use explosives and stuff like that, because it comes down to fair play. Not like real life bikers, because 1% bikers in real life, I think we can all agree, they're crazy ass motherfuckers, right? They're gonna blow someone up if they have bombs. They're gonna do their thing.
If they got it, they're gonna use it. No
you
doubt.
know, so we don't imitate 1% real lifers, and I think everyone knows that. And if you don't realize that, then what the fuck you doing?
I mean, look, we're not, we come on the game to have fun. This is the kind of gameplay that we like to play. You know what I mean? We're not out here, like, I'm not going to be out here and I'm not going to put no clubs out there. I'm not going to be out here wearing a fucking Chupacabra patch. You know what I mean? Or, I'm pretty sure Day ain't going to be rocking a motherfucking Strikers patch walking down the street.
Fuck,
you know what I mean?
Well, I'm definitely not rocking a Strikers patch, because Strikers actually happens to be a real life club. We are Striker.
Oh, really?
Striker, yes.
Yeah, there's a Strikers in Atlanta, Georgia. Red and gold.
It's a very small club.
Big black fist, all black club.
Completely different design. We figured that out afterwards.
We didn't know nothing about them, but their name is very similar to ours.
Quite small. Okay. But it's still different because there's no S.
I ain't try to have them with my ass on the street. You a striker? We strikers. Where the fuck you get that name from?
There's no S on the end of ours. So technically, it's different. So
he still gonna beat my ass. That S gonna get your ass whooped.
Nah, man, no S.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure everybody likes the fair gameplay. You know what I mean? It's more competitive. It's like a game in a game, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a more challenge. You're adding a challenging level to the game that you already playing. You're adding another aspect.
Which I see a lot of.
Giving yourself something more challenging to do. But I think where the disconnect comes from is when people have their different variations of it, and they expect other people to adhere to their variations of the code or whatever meetings they had and stuff like that.
Which is fine. Look, you can say, look, I want to play this way. I want to do my AR, I want to do my pistol. But I have issue with the fact that I see people a lot going, this person isn't 1% because he did this. And it would be something like, he rode his bike over me. And it would be like...
To me, that's like, if you're riding your bike over for kills, that's just bullshit. You know what I mean?
But you're a biker.
Like, yeah, but I mean, it's a cheap kill.
But you're a biker.
There's a lot of
when it comes into it,
kills. You shoot somebody else,
especially in Striker MC. I like to think most of our members, if not all of our members, really value that MC patch on your right as much as that 1% patch on the left. And I think a lot of clubs forget that MC patch does exist, and they put all that focus onto that 1% patch, and they forget that there's a whole other side.
If a dude, this me personally, if a dude get in a car and he try to run me over, I'm not gonna be too, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, why you do that?
Now we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to do that in Striker MC. But I would technically not say that's 99.
If you're fighting an MC, right? Now, if they're riding their bikes around you, trying to hit you with a shotgun or a mini...
Called a Striker Stampede, that's what I like to call it.
Yeah, like if they're trying to hit you with a shotgun riding around you, that's one thing. Now, if they're running you over and you get knocked down and they hit you with a fucking pump, then to me that's just like, yo, that's weak. You know what I mean? That's a weak kill.
I think it's scummy, but I wouldn't describe it as 99.
I think it's funny.
I definitely would say it's scummy.
I think it's funny.
I think it's funny and scummy.
Because it is quite easy to kill somebody on their bike, and if they're coming towards you, you should be paying attention. Don't get hit by a fucking bike.
Oh yeah,
that's the way I kind of see it.
Like if there's a flock, if you got a whole fucking flock after
you should have bought a bigger flock.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it.
But
in that sense, though, you could put that stipulation on a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this ain't fair because this ain't fair because the way y'all did it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't.
An AR kill contains of not the headshot, but a body shot contains of like 10 bullets. Anything less than 10 would be considered 99. So like
that's ridiculous. Come on, what's that? What is that? No, that was never discussed upon. Come on, you had a meeting. You had a meeting of MCs that half of them aren't even here anymore. And apparently it was the first ever MC meeting, and you say anything less than 10 bullets gets you killed. Well, no, but you cannot say we're owed you 1% because there probably were meetings before that. You don't know that for a fact that they weren't. You don't know for meetings that were after that. Nobody knows that. You can't claim that anything more than 10 bullets is a 99 kill. 4 years.
Since 2013.
4 years.
But he been here. Striker MC itself been here since 2013.
No. I mean Recon.
I've been here for 4 years myself.
Okay, all right. I've been here since 2014. All right.
Okay.
But there was a meeting. There was a meeting.
But you don't know if there was a meeting before that or a meeting after that.
There's definitely meetings after that.
There were 100% no meetings after that.
There probably was meetings after that. But
and probably before.
Huh?
Probably there was a meeting before that as well.
I'm not.
I mean, you had the GTA.
Because 2014 and 2013 there was still 1%. There was 1% that was still going around. The 2014 didn't spark 1%. Everyone didn't go, oh, this is the real 1% now. That never happened. Maybe the clubs that you hung out with and were friends with did that, but the rest of the community didn't do that. The people that you didn't know, the clubs that you didn't speak to, the clubs that didn't attend the meeting, you don't know that can be considered OG 1% because you don't know every club in the community. You didn't know every club in the community. There'll be guys that make a new club every day.
I don't think any one player or any one club could know every fucking.
I don't think even a congregation of clubs can do it.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is Strikers follows. Your guys' club follows the same code that was from 2014. It seems like.
No, we blow up armored vehicles.
No, we blow up tanks and shit. Like
Well, we do too. Anything armored and anything military, you know what I mean. Anything that flies or
when I checked in the 2014 window, it said you couldn't do that. So that's you know what I'm saying. Like you're not supposed to use them. Period. Like you know what I'm saying.
No, bro. That was never. You know what I mean. Anything military, because of the tank. Because the only tank that was out at the time was the one rocket tank. Like if you hit them with a rocket, that tank's blowing up.
Okay, well there are other people now. There are other people on Instagram as well claiming that assault rifles, pistols, no matter what. If a tank comes along, assault rifles, pistols, no matter what. There are people that claim that just as much as you, and they'll go, we're the OG 1%, and you'll go, no, we're the OG 1%. There's no such thing as an OG 1%. I don't believe it. There's no such thing.
Let me give you another scenario. Say Striker MC, TFFT, Exiled, all the people we friendly with or enemies of, people we know closely. We all come together and we say, this is what we want 1% to be. Everybody get in jets and blow people the fuck up. We decided that. And now we gonna push that as the motive. No matter what nobody say, that's 1%. Nah, you can't.
That doesn't make it the new 1%. Like, that makes it our version of
1%. I mean, the way I see it, bro,
it's the same thing.
The major majority of the clubs, you get what I'm saying, that came together, and it wasn't like a one-day meeting kind of thing. You know what I mean? There was different clubs that rotated in and out of those meetings.
But you didn't meet with every club in the community. That never happened. That was not a thing.
Well, look, bro. Either way, I mean, bro, it boils down to a lot of the clubs, you know, what we discussed had a ripple effect in the community. Either way.
I don't believe it does.
I don't doubt it.
I don't believe it does. I believe that.
I think it does.
I believe that the clubs maybe there that day were.
I wouldn't call it.
And maybe someone was still around.
I wouldn't call it an original 1%, and I wouldn't diss nobody else for not playing that way. Like, oh, you're not 1% because you don't play by these. I wouldn't do that.
Let's be
but
real, bro.
I can say that does have a ripple effect because people are playing by those rules. People do respect those because when you look at it, it looks cool.
You cannot trace 1% back to a certain amount of time. You cannot trace 1% back to a meeting. You cannot change a huge change of 1% back into a meeting. You can change it to changes in the community.
We could agree to disagree. I can trace it back, bro. Like
so you think
you could trace it back to the meeting that you had after what you.
So you think, and in that meeting, because your friends and the people that you played with in your circle,
goddamn,
were in that meeting.
You trying to have an argument? Like,
I'm talking. I'm talking.
He's a little high-headed, ain't he, bro?
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out your mindset here.
Listen, the mindset is the people who were in the meeting are now presidents themselves or are in major clubs.
Doesn't qualify them for anything.
I mean, I disagree, bro. Like,
point,
because
I mean, listen,
because the people who were there are now like major shot callers in the MC community. You get what I'm saying?
You do understand. You do understand that there is. Hold on, because I'm gonna give you another dynamic. There is an auto aim community. Auto aim.
We
quote
started
unquote
off. The
1%.
MC community started off in the auto aim community.
Exactly. Like, there is an auto aim quote unquote 1% community.
You know what I mean?
And they can use the same argument. That's what I'm telling you. Like your argument there, I can't really get behind that. I wanna get you. I wanna be there with you. Like I understand where Creek coming from. I understand where you coming from.
Community.
At the same time, you understand how silly the argument look. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't. All you saying is me and my friends came together. We decided this, so this is what it is because we are established people, and this is what we decided.
I mean, but it was just people you play with. Because inside it was because it was people you know. It was people because
said yourself it wasn't an entire community.
There are different circles within the community. That you can't be for sure it was the majority. You can't. Even if it was 100 clubs, you can't be for sure it was the majority. And I doubt it was close to 100 clubs.
I
don't think anybody can be sure of that.
No, you can't. You can't do a count of how many people there are in the MC community. That's ridiculous. You can't.
Like I said, bro, I just, if it
you probably could nowadays with Instagram and all this other bullshit.
Like,
no, you can't because there are always going to be people outside of Instagram. You can only make sure it's the people that you play with.
Yeah, either way, bro. Like either way, the shit that we talked about at that meeting, had a ripple effect, and now most of the community follows that
I disagree.
1% code.
I disagree.
So what
I
you're
don't. I
saying
don't
is,
see that at
so
all.
what you saying? Hold on. Let me
Well,
try
I
to
mean,
put this in a way.
but the whole
Let me try to
the
put this in
huge
a
thing
way.
I always
Hold
see
on. Let me
over
let both
Instagram
of
and
y'all.
everything. Listen. The huge thing I always see over Instagram is anything. Oh, we're dying out. OG 1% is dying out. I see that all the time. Oh, we're the last one of the OG clubs. So if that's true, if it was such a huge ripple effect, why is it dying out?
I mean, you got new updates. You know, new tactics on how to kill that doesn't follow what we set forth.
But I
You
would
know
say
what I
the
mean?
majority of the MC community does not follow those rules anymore.
I would definitely say that, but then he could argue
Yeah.
that, that's why it's 1%. Only
Right.
1% follow it.
But I
But
would
then
say it
again,
was only 1% from
how could
fair
you
play in
possibly?
GTA.
I would honestly say it's less than 1%. I would say that. I
I would say
confident
only
enough to say
1%
that.
of
I mean,
people,
me
and that's what it
personally,
stands for,
bro,
is fair
I
play.
never understood that whole 99 with the
Yeah,
patch on, or you know what I mean, with the diamond or
yeah.
the zero. I even fucking seen 0%.
Well,
No, I've
So
seen
listen,
what?
0%,
and let me
2%,
tell
all
let me
kinds of
tell you
crazy
what
shit.
happened with 0%. I fucking hate that. It's not, so 0% people should be wearing a 1% patch, and that's what happened. Is these clubs have come around saying, oh, you ain't fucking 1%, you should be OG 1%, and then they've gone, oh, take that 1% off, and they've been like, oh, maybe I'm not 1%. No, those motherfuckers are
So
1%. Those
zero
motherfuckers are more
percent,
1% than
zero
the OG
percent, zero
1%ers.
percent are those clubs that played 1%, that
The eye for an eye.
people like you went around calling retaliation clubs. Oh, you're not 1% no
Right.
more. This is how we do it. You a retaliation club. Well, motherfucker, I don't know who the fuck you is, but this is how we been doing it. Fuck it, I'll be 0% because I don't want to be a part of this dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people, you know what I'm saying? People tried to make it what it is, make it that's you know what I'm saying? That's never what it was. It was fair gameplay. You know what I'm saying? So how can
Yeah.
you
I
come up,
mean, we made
decide
it
I want to make
more.
this change, and then that's what it,
I mean,
saying, oh,
it
that's
wasn't
what it is.
just me. Like, you get what I'm
No,
saying? Like,
I get what you're
it
saying.
wasn't just me.
You had a group of
Like,
people, a
It was
big
a
group
group
of
of,
like,
people.
it was a
like,
circle of GTA MCs that know each other.
Yeah.
what? Yeah. I mean, like, even if we fought,
That's just
each
a
other,
circle.
you know
We're in
what I
a
mean?
listen. We're in a circle of MCs right now. I would say Striker MC and the circle of MCs. We're in with the DT, TEMC, Reapers, and a bunch of like Zeds, and
The
we're in
way,
this circle of MCs. And
see,
within
but the
this
thing
circle,
is,
people are fighting.
look
But
at,
if we brought all
you
these
got to
people
look at,
together, listen, shut up. If we brought all these people together, and we were
motherfucker, what you
like,
mean, shut up?
okay, we're gonna start on the 1%. That wouldn't be the majority of the clubs. To us, it might seem like, oh, we got the whole community together, but there's always that separate circle. Like what I've noticed with playing
So
GTA a
you
lot
gotta look.
is there's two
I think
circles of MCs,
what
maybe
we really
three.
gotta look at, you always gonna look like dominant or majority to your damn self. That's always the way it's gonna look. You know what I'm saying? If it was us to do the same thing, we would get with the clubs that we know closely, that we've seen be active a lot, that are popular right now, and those are the clubs that we would go with. Are they really popular? Probably not. Are they really at the top? Probably not. Are people really looking up to them for information? Probably not. But we think that because that's our circle, that is your social circle that you are set in. For you to
Even
make
if
a
it's people you
decision in that
fight, that's
circle,
still your
that
circle.
social circle, and decide that that's for the rest of the community, that is everybody's thing, that's everybody's stitzel, this is how everyone should look at it, that's silly. Because that's your circle. If that's the way y'all want to look at it, fine. But for you to place that on everyone else is just, it's beyond it. You can't. It's impossible to do
I don't know, bro.
because
Like I
y'all
said,
chose to
I
make
was
that decision.
there.
That was y'all
I
circle.
was there, but you
Yeah,
know,
you was there at that
I'm a,
meeting
I'm a,
with the
yeah,
circle.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? I
Okay,
took place in it.
all right. So what if I said I was there with the meeting before? What if I said this? What if I said a
I
week
would say
before
what?
that meeting, I was there? I would said my circle of MCs that I play with, me and them had a meeting, and we said that 1% is now this.
I mean, like I said, bro. You know, this is what the community agreed to. Either way, bro.
It's no, it's not.
Um, you can say
You
that, bro. You can
I
say
mean,
that,
but you can
but
literally say that's not what the community agreed to,
at the end
because
of the
as you
day,
said before, it was
most
people in the
clubs
community
are
that did not
sitting
agree with it
here.
and wasn't even
Yeah,
there. So you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
You
bro,
can't say the
like even
community,
the people
but yeah, your people
that
that you
didn't
was
agree
talking
to
to,
it
yes,
attend the meeting. You know what I
yeah,
mean? No, there was people at the meeting that didn't agree. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It wasn't
So
like,
then they
oh,
didn't.
like this is the code and this is what we go by. No, bro. Like it was a long discussion and everything like that to make a fair gameplay. You know what I mean? Outside of what the fuck else GTA is about. The blowing shit up, causing chaos.
But only those
like
MCs that were at that meeting can then say, okay, this is our code. They can't say this is the OG code, because remember, it existed before then. They can say this is our code.
That's like, bro, like, that's like saying, you know, in the beginning, when fucking dinosaurs came, there shouldn't be a Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? Like, that just
what are you
doesn't make
talking
sense,
about?
bro. Like, the majority of the clubs
I'm gonna be honest, bro. That was a horrible analogy. That was just a horrible.
No, but I'm saying, listen.
But
the
yeah, I get
majority
you.
of the
It was a horrible
clubs,
analogy.
you know what I mean? Like, the majority of the clubs at the time, like,
I disagree. Not majority. It was not the majority.
Let him finish though. Let him finish.
Mongols, the warlocks. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe they're not here anymore. Okay, I get that. That's nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me or what happened. But the majority of the clubs that everybody heard of, you can't say that you haven't heard about the warlocks. You can't say that you.
Arguably though, Mongols was never.
Yeah,
really,
Mongols really.
You know
Mongols.
what I'm saying? Like,
I'm talking.
But yeah, I know.
GTA
I get where you coming from, bro. But at the same time, you see how that argument doesn't hold much weight. You know what I'm saying? Because those are people that got together and chose to make a decision.
So you do consider yourself OG 1%?
Without being the entire community.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
So what about those people that were first 1% before you? You were in this community in 2014. There are people who've been here since 2013 that were all the 1% patch since 2013. Why aren't they OG 1%?
The eye for an eye, we kind of figured out, like, you know, just ain't really how it ain't on a fair gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, we wanted it more competitive and everything like that.
Well, then it comes down to a discussion of fair gameplay.
It's fair. Yeah, that comes down to a discussion
which is subjective towards everybody. Because what I consider fair may not be considered fair to somebody else.
And that's where the debate comes in. You guys made it debatable. Whereas when it was just eye for an eye, that was 1%. That was what it was. It was fair, you know. Somebody shoot you with a rocket, you shoot them with a rocket back. Bitch, get some. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. But then it turns into this thing where everybody's adding their own stipulations to it, having their own meetings, deciding what they think is. Oh, this is 1%. Oh,
since the beginning.
And now you have 5 different types of 1%, and they all have the same argument. We had this meeting. We're dominant clubs. We have a lot of us. We have this big social circle. We matter. We had an impact on the community. This is why this is 1%.
You cannot trace 1% back to a certain time where it was created.
You see where I'm coming from?
I would disagree. I would.
Because 1% was never created by a group of MCs. It was never created by a group of MCs. 1% was created by the interpretation from real 1%. Brought over, and then people started playing a different way because they mixed in fair play with GTA, and it formed into a 1% thing. There was never a meeting that said this is what 1% diamond means.
I would agree with that, but like I said, bro, to trace it back at a time, I would have to disagree. You can trace it back to a certain time.
You can't. It's impossible.
I disagree.
It is because you were only here in 2014. There are people since being 2013.
That you're saying that this one meeting that y'all had after 1% was already established. Because you say you could trace it back to a time. If we traced it back to a time, it would go past the time that y'all had that meeting. Meaning it would go back to the time when it was eye for an eye. Because you know what I'm saying? That's when it started. So if you guys have a meeting, that is the same as everyone else having a meeting. Oh, this is what 1% is. Oh, this is what 1% is. This is what 1% is. You can say all you want, but in reality, you're only popular to yourself. I didn't know who the fuck y'all was. Ain't seen y'all. I didn't even know who Banshees was till last year. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. I feel like that argument is hard. I feel like that argument is hard.
Bro. But you're not really. All you're saying is that it's OG 1% because we had a meeting. That's all you're saying. You know, like that doesn't. You guys, whoever was there in the community, cannot change that. It already existed before that meeting, so they do not have the right to change that.
No, all right, no, it's your opinion. That's your opinion.
They don't have the right to call somebody else not 1%.
That's your opinion.
I mean, you kind of confirmed that it wasn't our opinion because you said when it started off, it was eye for an eye. How do y'all have the power to change it when you did not create it? You had a meeting and decided that's what y'all wanted to do.
A lot of clubs did not agree to the eye for eye.
So does that mean it should? So that means it should change. So that means 1% should change because a lot of people disagree with it. I think a lot of people disagree with it now. Should it change again?
What you disagree with how with the fair gameplay?
I disagree with the way that you've described 1%. Yes.
What I'm telling you is, if a bunch of clubs got together, disagreed with it, and we decided that we was gonna do our own thing and make up our own version of 1% and go with all these stipulations, is you finna follow those? Is you gonna be like, oh yeah?
Are you gonna say that's the new OG 1%?
I can guarantee you, you're not gonna say that.
Look, there's no way to change the 1%. Like,
but you apparently you did it. Though.
There's
Apparently
no way to
you did
change
it.
How y'all did it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
What happened is it was eye for an eye. The majority of the clubs did not agree to it.
That does not give them the right to change it.
So you're saying
just because they disagree?
Eye for an eye.
I think it still is. It always has been. We don't. Striker MC personally does not follow that because we like to add our own things on stuff. What I'm saying is, people can play 1% and call themselves 1%, which they like, but you cannot call someone not 1%.
At the end of the day, anything that you say at that meeting, you want to say OG 1% or whatever, had a ripple effect in the community to where there's clubs like Strikers, like Banshees, Striker
doesn't follow those rules that you described. We don't follow those rules that you described.
So you're saying if someone blows you up, you're blowing them up?
No,
we don't follow.
But we didn't. But what happened is we didn't come into this and go, okay, I'm gonna learn this because other people play this way.
That's my club choice. That's my club choice. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is the ARs, the pistols, the pump shotguns, and shit like that. That is initially the 1%. You know what I mean?
But we didn't choose that. We didn't choose that. Get this right. We didn't choose that style of gameplay because we decided that's what 1% is. You can see me and both Creed sitting here that we don't agree that's what 1% is. We don't agree that that's what everyone should play with if they claiming 1%. That's what they should do if they claim 1%. We don't agree with it.
My personal opinion on 1% is what people consider fair.
With all that other shit added on. We like to play with that strict shit added on.
Now I think if someone has an RPG, I can take them out with an assault rifle, easy, and that's fair to me. Exactly. Maybe that's not fair for them because they're 99ing me. But to me, I can use an assault rifle and kill them.
But at the same time, I wouldn't say it was unfair for someone using an RPG on me for me to hit them back with an RPG. I wouldn't say that was unfair.
So you disagree with the eye for an eye?
No, I agree with the eye for an eye. We just said that.
Absolutely, 100%.
No, you said you don't think it's fair if someone used an RPG on you and you used an RPG on
I said I don't think it's fair for them. I don't think it's fair for them.
I said I don't think I could
say it's not fair. If I RPG them back, yeah, it's fair. It's eye for an eye.
And then
but I don't follow that.
You know, like if somebody hit you with an RPG, that's 99. Why do you classify that as 99?
Because it doesn't follow that strict rules. Because
that was their first thing that they did.
No, it doesn't, because there was always a thing of when the community came together, they go, okay, what's OP and fucking crazy weapons? Let's fuck those. Right. So it was basically no explosives, none of that shit, right? No auto shotguns that can gun people down, and that was also just because of the game mixed in with the culture of MC. That was not a meeting. That was just a mindset of people. There was no thing before that. When the MC community was created, it was first like that.
You're saying without a meeting, all these clubs came together and think the same?
I'm saying that there was probably something there, right? There's probably something that people started going, okay, I left this club and they did it this way. There was no meeting. I assume there was a meeting that you went to, but there's no meeting that decided was the thing for everyone.
I don't know about no meeting, but I know where it originated. It started in TDMs. People would lock it up and they would have certain weapons locked. That, you know, that's what it was. That's what the weapons was. You couldn't use
competitive weapons in GTA.
People took those rules and they applied them to public lobbies, right?
Exactly.
But with the stipulation, if someone hits you with an RPG or whatever they have it first, you can do the same shit back. That's what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was.
But that was not a meeting. That was from TDMs.
exactly. That, you know what I'm saying? It just transferred.
Because that existed
okay,
in 2013. That was there in 2013. 2014, you said this meeting happened, or however long it happened. You said you were only here.
2014. Yeah, 2013, 2014.
2013 is
Now-
when people started coming from TDMs
Now
and
look
applying
at it.
those
Here we
TDM
are.
rules to
Here we
MCs.
are. Now here we are in 2018, right? And you got clubs that was here in that time frame, and they are not following your 1%. Yet they claim 1%. The 1% that they are following is similar to ours. Most MCs, from what I've seen, and this is the same way you've been saying it. Most MCs who was big back then, this is what they did. Blah 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 blah. Most MCs, from what I've seen, they will use pistols, pump shotguns, mini SMGs. They will use these things on the ground. These are things that y'all's, you know, the stipulations y'all had. That ain't 1%. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all said, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
No, what I'm saying is
that, you know what I'm saying? That's what we do. We blow up on the vehicles. We blow up tanks. We blow up fucking rocket bikes. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's coming out the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that's 1%, bro. I mean, now don't get me wrong. There's certain clubs, like my club, that does not use certain weapons, but I wouldn't classify that as 99.
Yeah, but some people give it that quotations true 1% and original,
which is not
1%.
true.
That's why I throw the disagreement in, because obviously that's not how it started. You chose to play like that. I got you. I still see eye for an eye as 1%. If I walked up to an eye for an eye person and they had a 1% patch on, I wouldn't be like, boy, you 99. And unless they just shoot me with a rocket for no reason, then I'm.
If someone's retaliation, I tend to think they're 1% because it's fair. So I think you're 1%.
So, for instance, right? Let me. I'm just trying to get your logic on this.
Go ahead. Okay. I'll be trying to get yours.
So you're telling me right now, if we go into a lobby and someone hits you with an RPG, right, or shoot you with a minigun. You're saying, and they're wearing a 1% patch. You're saying that's still 1%?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that if I RPG them first,
what I'm telling you is,
but if they RPG me first, they're a 99er.
What I'm telling you is, if I was in an MC, listen, leave Striker out of it. Say I was in an MC and I'm claiming 1%, right? I walk into a lobby. A 99er doesn't know nothing about 1%, no nothing. He comes up, he fucking shoots me with a rocket launcher. He misses, whatever. I pull out a rocket launcher and rocket launch his ass back and kill him. That is not 99. I do not see that as 99.
Okay, that's so what basically what you're.
We don't do that in our club, but I wouldn't see no club that does that as 99.
Yeah, we don't allow that in our club,
but do you get? I mean, that's kind of like a half-ass backwards logic. You know what I mean? Like, you're saying if it happens to me, okay, and I do it back, that's 99. Okay, but there's gonna be always that one person. That's clearly what you just said.
No, you said if we do it back, it's still 1%, but we don't follow that rule in our club personally.
Right, so
but I would consider that 1%.
And you do it back, you consider that 1%.
Yeah, but me personally, my club doesn't, but me personally,
it's fair gameplay. He shot you with a rocket. You shoot him with a rocket back.
Okay, so here's my thing. And if it happens to you, that's 99, right?
If someone blows me up out of nowhere,
if I ain't done nothing, if I ain't blew your ass up and you just blowing me up, obviously you don't know.
If I blow up somebody for no reason and they're wearing a 1% and doing all that, I'm 99.
Just doing it to do it.
Okay, so you're saying, basically, if you jump in a lobby, a random hits you with an RPG and you hit back, that's still 1%.
Oh, that's still 1%. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would not call somebody 99 for
that's 1%, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't call nobody
because you're retaliating.
That's eye for an eye, right?
Yeah.
What it is.
I mean,
that's what it means.
Yeah, I guess, but wouldn't it be kind of the same thing if they shoot the rocket at you first? I mean, like really think about that logic.
That's what you said, though. What? You said if somebody comes into a lobby. If somebody comes into a lobby and shoots you with an RPG and you RPG them back, that's still 1%. If you come into a lobby and RPG somebody for no reason, you're a 99er. If they RPG you first, they're the 99er. Because they use the unfair weapon.
Let's hit on your logic.
First.
Let's hit on your logic. You don't understand ours. Let's hit on your logic. Why does it make us 99 that we don't follow a rule that y'all had in y'all meeting that nobody was at but y'all? You understand what I'm saying? The whole 1% thing is very debatable, bro. It's very debatable.
So,
we can both agree that it started off as eye for an eye, which is what we literally just explained.
Yeah,
you're trying to say that's dumb. I get it. I get it. You're trying to say that dumb. I'm not gonna disagree. It might be dumb, but that's the way people chose to play. That's what people considered to be 1%. Y'all had a meeting, chose to change that. You want people to follow that, and you saying now this old shit, it ain't 1%. This the original 1%. How?
All right, so that's like,
you see what I'm saying?
Like,
you see what I mean now?
So if I hit you up with a heavy SMG, right?
A combat MG.
Yeah, a combat MG.
We don't allow those, but yeah, okay.
Is that still 1%?
No, a combat MG is an unfair weapon.
I mean, if I hit your ass with a combat MG first, then you shot me with a combat MG back.
Okay, but my thing is, what made that an unfair weapon?
What made it an unfair weapon? It was definitely not your meeting.
I disagree. I disagree.
No, because people played like that before that meeting. You understand that, right? People played by those rules in 2013. At the beginning, people played by those rules before that meeting.
The 2013 to 2014 meeting.
No, people played before 1%. Like that before that meeting. People did play before that meeting.
I would disagree, bro.
You would think that was the point where 1% was created.
You're sitting here saying the same thing that I'm saying.
No, he's not saying the same thing that you're saying, bro,
because he's saying
okay, look, we both did you not?
I'm saying, why does it make it 99?
Because it's unfair, and you're saying you created what's fair and unfair meeting. You didn't.
Hold on, Creed, because you're not. Both of y'all just arguing. Y'all ain't even listening to each other. When we first started this conversation, we all agreed that 1% started off as eye for an eye. You're trying to argue that was dumb, and y'all had a meeting and y'all decided to do something else. That don't have shit to do with the rest of the community.
In order for eye to eye exist, there would need to be a classification. Shut up.
Bro.
There needs to be a classification of weapons being unfair in order for eye to even exist. Because there needs to be okay. Well, yes, it is true. Because if he blows me up, why wouldn't I? Then you've misinterpreted what eye for eye means.
Eye for eye. If the weapon is used on you, you can use it back.
So
if you pull out a jet, I can pull out a jet, and I'm still 1%.
That's what retaliation means. Yes.
Okay, so don't tell me that I don't understand
what he's saying is
no, but you've said no, but before that meeting, no, but before that meeting, there were people classified. People classified these weapons before that meeting. That happened. In order for eye to exist, people need to go. Okay, I use this weapons until he uses that, and then I can use that.
You still drive.
I mean, I don't know, bro. I would have to disagree because, you know, an eye for an eye is kind of whatever weapon you want to use, and that you can use it back, kind of thing.
But what weapons would you be using before they cross that line?
I can see where he's coming from though, Creed, because what he's saying is fair gameplay. Whether you come into that lobby using RPGs or whether you come into that lobby using an AR, y'all both gonna use exactly the same thing on each other. It doesn't matter who escalates it. It doesn't matter who goes in the way.
What I'm trying to get at here is before this so-called meeting. No, listen.
That's what he's saying. Listen, no. That's what he's saying that they didn't agree with, and they had a meeting for it.
No, but that doesn't make any sense because
you classifying the weapon as OP, right?
And you're saying that because of that meeting, that's why we classify that as OP.
Yes.
That's not true. Not by a long shot. That's ridiculous.
You could disagree to it, bro, but that's the exact reason why you classify it.
No, it's not. That's insane.
Disagree because what you just said about 10 shots and all that shit, that's not
an eye for the proof that an eye for an eye existed proves that wrong.
How?
Because an eye
Now,
for an eye implies that there were some basic rules there in the first place.
The reason I play by these rules and I like them is because I don't like getting blown
I have taught the people that have been in this community a lot since GTA 4, and I've talked about the 1% code.
I mean,
The 1% code classifying weapons did not exist in 2014 or late 2013. It was not created by a certain bunch of MCs coming together. That never happened. People didn't sit. You might have done it between yourselves, but renowned in the community didn't go, this is now everything, everyone follows this, then years later we're following this. People had this idea of role-playing, basically is where this came from, role-playing realistic weapons, right? And that was not that meeting's idea. That was the community just sprouting.
The community sprouting. Okay.
I mean, the same logic he just used is kind of like what you just used. At this point, I'm just tired of listening to both of y'all.
I'm just saying, bro. Either way, bro, you can say what you want. The 2013, 2014 meeting ultimately had a ripple effect where
this is where
are using the weapons that were still discussed in that meeting.
I disagree, because a lot of those people that apparently were at that meeting are saying that it's dying out.
Shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Both of you, fuck all that. I think we all can agree that all these variations of 1% have affected the community, because in turn, the people that you talk with, the people that you play with, you have an effect on them. We don't play this way because of y'all. We don't know y'all, didn't know shit about y'all meeting. In fact, I just learned about this shit like 2 days ago. So that shit is like, that shit dead in the water, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so it didn't have no effect on me, didn't have no effect on the way I play the game, none of that. And for either one of y'all to try to act like that's what it was.
This meeting did not create 1%.
Now, everybody comes to decisions and they do things on the game, and yes, those decisions and the things that they do will have a ripple effect in the community. But for you to sit there and say that your 1% is everybody's 1%, that's silly, because you know that everybody has their own variations and their own stupid ass meetings and shit like that, where they said this is 1%, and everyone has the same single argument, because as Creed said at the beginning, there was no dominant start point. You argue your dominant start point, people can argue their dominant start point that might have been before yours. Like you said before, it started off as eye for an eye. So that's what I'm gonna take it as. That's what I'm always gonna take it as. I think anything beyond that is like people coming together and deciding that's what they want to do.
It was an organic. It was an organic build-up.
I can't argue that for everyone in the community. Can't. It's impossible.
It was just an organic build-up, and that's what I see.
That's me on that. Y'all can keep going, but
I don't picture it any other way. I can only see it as an organic build-up, because people don't listen to jack shit other people have to say. They never have. You know, it happened. There were meetings after yours. There were meetings before yours where people talked about it. There have been, just because a lot of these clubs that, you know, say, okay, this was the meeting we went to, doesn't make it the real meeting.
I can agree with that. I can agree.
I don't know, bro. Like I said, a lot of clubs still agree to this. You know, clubs that weren't even there still agree to the shit that were discussed in the 2000.
I always see all over Instagram, everywhere, people always say to me, oh, the real 1%'s dying out. This OG code that you keep talking about, everyone that was apparently in it say it's dying out. We're one of the last OG clubs left. So if it was that rippling, if it was that effective,
I'm not saying the whole community follows this gameplay to where, you know, AR pistols only. You know what I mean? Or pump shotguns and small SMGs. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there is still clubs. There might be few, but there's still clubs.
But I mean, I could have hosted a meeting last week. Does that mean my meeting had an effect on the MC community?
Shits and roll rockers. That's probably about it, though.
You know, if I hosted a meeting between myself and some of my friendly clubs and my enemy clubs, and we all said, all right, 1% now includes rocket launchers, and they kept that going for years, does that mean my meeting had an effect on the MC community?
No, bro, because what you're initially saying is we came together and made our own shit. That's basically what you're saying.
But that's basically
You did.
what you just said, bro.
That's what happened. You did.
I disagree, bro. I mean, the majority of the community came together as a community, bro.
I don't think the majority of the community was there at all.
What you're saying is,
But you do realize if we got with the people that we associate with, the people that we fight, friends with, or whatsoever, we may very well be, in our opinion, majority of the community. I don't see how you missing that part. It's like
I'm not missing that part, bro.
But it doesn't mean the majority. I would say, listen, I would say nowadays the majority of the community are 99ers. That's what I would say nowadays. The majority of the community and the majority of MCs that I come across are very 99-sided. So if they all came together and they said, well, if they all came together, the majority of the community, let's say that, and they said, listen, this is the real 1%, we can blow things up. Does that make it the new OG 1% code because they said it?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is what makes them 99.
You're asking what makes them 99.
Yeah, you're saying
unfair use in weaponry, unfair weapons. But yours, not your meeting. That's what you're saying. Your meeting was never look down and go, okay, because the only person that I've ever seen use this 10 shot method is Felix. That's the only person I've ever seen use this method, 10 shot method. That is ridiculous. Because he's the only other person that I've seen even preach that. Every other person I've got 1%. All right, where'd you get your 1% from? I just think this is fair. I think this is fair gameplay and this and that.
What Felix did, bro, no, because all right, ARs were classified as 1%. What Felix did was break it down more in depth.
Not to the entire community, but nobody accepted that. He can do it for his own club, but nobody accepted that.
What he did was he was like, all right, ARs is 1%, right? That's we can agree to that, right? I mean,
yeah, it's a fair weapon.
Okay, it's a fair weapon. What he did was he went into a lobby and he shot. He and tested it out, and it takes 10 bullets.
Have you watched that video? Have you?
I've seen that. I have seen that.
Did you see how many times he killed the guy? Did you actually dissect the video? How many times he killed the guy before it made it do that? Like it was crazy. It was crazy. I think it's weird for people to put their stipulations on others and act like this is what it is.
Well, no, what he's saying is that
I think at least you can say we can all agree it's supposed to be fair gameplay. I think that's the part that makes it have all those gray areas.
But it annoys me because what they're saying is that they came to the meeting and they decided what was fair and unfair. And at this meeting it was all worked out and everyone agreed and it was like the majority of the community was like, oh yeah, this is what's fair and unfair. That's not true. That's nowhere near true.
That's my thing too. If that was majority of the community, how come majority of the community now
doesn't say that? That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and
that's not it was because it wasn't. I'm saying it progressed in an organic, natural way where people took some from TDMs, took some from roleplay, merged it together, and just created this build-up of what was considered 1%. And that is the most. No one can claim they created the unfair and fairness. And if you do, it's ridiculous. You just have a huge ego.
Y'all motherfuckers about made me sick of 1%. I'm about to go 99 because I'm tired of hearing this shit.
Well, this is the last episode.
I didn't even want to have another. This is
the last episode we're going to be talking about.
Like, y'all all been talking about 1%. Like,
well, this is
Christ,
if anyone wants to
listen.
Shut up.
Gameplay. If you ask fair, eye for an eye, you're 1%. Hey, bro, get the movement going.
Listen.
Majority of the clubs, y'all decide that eye for an eye is 1%, and then it's real because we had a meeting.
We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up. We've got a few minutes left. All we're gonna do is real quick. This is gonna be the last episode where we talked about 1% in this much depth. We might bring back a reference in the future, but really we're gonna really be focusing on other topics and more maybe smaller topics and really pad them out and like have in-depth conversations about them through the community. Because if you want to know more about 1% and stuff like that, you can always look back on our episodes.
If you have a topic you kind of want us to hit on, I'm gonna be putting up stories. You can hit up the Club Talk Instagram at
SMC
Club Talk
Creed. SMC Creed will take ideas, and SMC Day and or Club Talk Instagram. All those Instagrams, let us know. really.
I want people to know now. This show is in no way associated with Striker MC. The two people that host it, we happen to be part of Striker MC. Our opinions don't mean we want to whoop your ass. Don't mean we want to beat your ass in lobbies. It just means that we don't fucking like you.
And you'll see this a lot on the episodes where I will say this is not my MC's opinion, because it's not. What my club considers something is what I consider something else. You know, I agree with my club rules, and I think they're the best bylaws in the world. But because it works for a club. But my personal opinion. We're just wrapping up anyway. We've got 30 seconds.
We about to wrap up the show anyway, bro. You good?
Okay.
It's been Mr. Time.
Putting up with Creed.
It's been Mr. Time.
Hey man, I love the debate on it. You know what I mean? Like I do. You know.
All right, we'll shut down the stream. Let me just wait 4 seconds for it to click over to an hour, and there we go. All right, next episode 13, unlucky number. We'll do something special for that.